Hello everybody, welcome to the episode 21. For those who are just joining me and trying to figure out what the hell is all this about, it's about just getting back in shape, just doing the daily training while we all quarantine and picking up bits and pieces of the sword fighting, right? Or for staging, I must add, and for stage combat, for the theatrical combat, for some bits and pieces of the real ones. I'm not here to follow any particular style. For those that are better people, so as always, the training starts with just doing the horizontal and diagonal cuts to build up the strength and agility. So I'm on the 35 by now, so with the official part. So yesterday I talked about the balance exercise. One of things that we are rarely talking about, we as a group of people who are trying to do the online stuff and things, the breathing, right, the panting, all this stuff, especially nowadays when, you know, the COVID-19 and the whole thing, and it's genuinely good to have some practice. So I used to teach people a bit of Qigong when they would come, and I think that's a good start. So when we're talking about breathing in the sword fight, you're typically trying to not breathe with the upper body, with the chest and stuff. The reason why is because as you're progressing through the fight and doing those, right, even though your lungs are expand, you can expand, do the inhale here, you're still kind of limited by trying to always do the exhale. So you're trying to breathe with the kind of the diaphragm or with the stomach. It will help you to go through it easier. The other advantage of training yourself to be able to breathe with the stomach or with the diaphragm, if you have chest pains, if you feel that, well, you know, the panic attack, sometimes people saying that their heart hurts and stuff, so if you kind of couldn't inhale without sharp pains in here, sometimes you can save yourself serious trouble of going to the ER and stuff. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to, but if you just couldn't inhale at all, try to breathe with the stomach. The easiest way to control it is just to put the hand on the chest and try to inhale and exhale. And you will notice that you can actually do it if you fix yourself and practice it, try it. The general practice with the sword fight is that, or with the sword training, is that you inhale when you're in a block or closed, and then you exhale as you attack. Because on exhale, like in any martial arts that you ever touched, you will know that it's always, you know, the power release, if you like, right, is on exhale. And you don't want to inhale in the movements like this, because it will overstimulate yourself and things, and you also kind of risking if you're punched on the inhale, if you stabbed on the inhale, if your partner accidentally does the thrust and you kind of on the inhale, it will do more damage. When you're exhaling and attacking, your muscles will kind of create small protective kind of corset around you that will help you if you're hit. So let's say it's not always, you know, step, inhale, step, exhale, step, inhale. You just have to practice yourself, and that's why I'm doing my cuts slow, because I'm trying to do them in a rhythm of measured inhale, exhales. I can do them faster, right? But I'm doing this because it also prepares me for the workout. It prepares me, enriches the, you know, the blood with the oxygen, and it kind of calms me down through all the troubles and kind of the meditation process, if you like, to leave all the troubles behind. And it also nicely goes into the whole thing that I keep trying to talk about, where you do the flow, you just do it with the pace of your breathing. And it will help you. You will notice that you're becoming more flowy in movements if you just listen to your own breathing a little bit. If you need to help yourself to kind of calm down and generally just build it up, you know, the whole meditation thing, the easiest what you can do is, let's see, can you see it? Basically just put your arm, put your legs about shoulder length apart, feet parallel, right? Just ground yourself a little bit. Imagine yourself, the top of your head is kind of hanging by the thread that is just somewhere above, and you just kind of inhale and exhale. When you're inhaling, you can imagine yourself standing on the beach or in the body of water, and the wave is rising on inhale, and the wave is just escaping on exhale. And if you do that a few times, you'll notice yourself, the world will start slowing down, you know, the whole thing. And it's actually a very useful exercise. Again, you have to calm yourself down, you have to manage your anger, your anxieties, and things like that. This is the simplest one you can do, and it always helps. So, just the first movement of great many Qigong, but there's the reason for that. So, and just, you know, do it 6, 8, 10, 12 times, and you will feel yourself relaxed and prepared better. So, now let's get back with the training. So yesterday, the balance. Monday it was the power. So today, if you're following kind of sort of the pace that I'm doing it in, you might be or will be a little bit sore. And some people are saying that, you know, even though the regular training, the sword experience and stuff, people become sore after a while because you're doing all this kind of warm-ups, and then you're doing the stiffy things like sitting, and you're doing a lot of exercises that you're normally not including. So you become stiff, it aches. So there are two things to remember about this. First, especially afterwards, if you feel stiff, you still need to kind of warm up and stretch it a little bit. I mean, these are the simplest. So even if arms and your torso and your legs are kind of feeling iffy, well, after exercise, try to take a hot shower, obviously, to kind of get the whole acid thing going. But the next day, if you're stiff, the best thing you can do is just force yourself with that stiffness to warm up again, and then stretch. It will help you to recover a little better. So the sitting like that, about 2 shoulders, 1.5 shoulders apart. Feet parallel, sitting down, back straight as much as possible. You can control yourself better if you just kind of put the hand on your back. It just feels better. And just kind of sit there for a little bit. You'll start feeling the muscles digging in, and kind of warms up. Helps. Again, if this moment you want to calm yourself or just do something, it's a perfect moment for this. After you've done those, right, never forget to do exercises for your back. Stretch a little bit, warm up. The best stretches to dig in the back are always kind of funny. So the things for the arms, I showed it other day, but let's go through it again. So this comes from Wing Chun to palms, right? So you have your straight arm out. Let's see if you get better. Yeah. Then you kind of do the twist out, and trying to move your arm, your wrist as far as possible. Make sure that the elbow is down. You kind of do that, and then you do this, and again moving the outer edge as far as possible. It might become very uncomfortable, just kind of power through it, and then you do this, and again. So this one is the kind of that movement, right? And again, you're trying to do that, and you're trying to, and I kind of batted it, but you're trying to pull this down as well. So your palm, and then you just wrap it up, and then you do the left hand like that. And it will help you to strengthen and stretch these guys, so you can do, magical things with your hands. So, interesting now to Steve, and you kind of unblock it, you'll feel the rush of blood actually to all the previously blocked zones. So just stretch a little bit. And then we come into the exercises on the technique, right? So feet either together or one a little bit forward. Normally you want your forward foot to be the one that is the same as the leading hand. So I do the left because I tend to use the left-handed stance for everything when it comes to the two handers. But I mean, if you're the righty, then this is the way. The right foot, the right hand, left hand in the back, and just that. Or the same way for the lefties. There's less of those, or the ambidextrous can just choose whatever they feel comfortable with. So the left is more comfortable for me, so I'm showing it always with the left. Your stance is very important. You start with the medial one. So you start with the one where this guy, the pointy bit, the one you stick people with. It's never like this, it's never like this. It's roughly 45 degrees. A little bit less, a little bit more, as long as you're kind of keeping it on the level of the neck of your opponent. And the reason for that is because if you give it like that, nobody wants to attack you because they will just go. So this is your regular fighting stance. It's the simplest one, it's kind of the easiest one to keep. You will notice after a while that you can do that with the hands, or you can do the twist with the body. You do it with the body, notice that this entire thing doesn't actually move. You can do this. Starting to do it with the hands, you're breaking it. And it becomes very uncomfortable because you go twist it here and twist it here, so you want to kind of follow it a little bit at least. Use the body. You don't want to drop it in general. And there is stances like that. I actually like them. But if you're just beginning, if you're just training, this is how you want to be. You can move around and kind of feel it. Feel that you're not breaking it, feel you're not thinking about it, it's just there. And from there, you would start with the, so I started the cuts because this is how you do it, but this is where you start the cuts. Right there, the super duper long ones that will start almost from your buttocks. There's shorter ones that start here. Technically, depending on the school, depending on what you're doing, depending on who's training you, they will basically just tell you either do those or those. It's all very theoretical, but stylish. What you want to do, however, is to train yourself to do 3 levels: hand, torso, leg. The reason why you want to do it is because you want to be in control of your blade and you always want to stop. If you're doing a stage combat, even if you're not doing a stage combat, if you're doing the real one, you will end up doing the, well, you end up doing a bunch of switches between the movements, and you want to be conditioning yourself to go, I will show you, I'm attacking your head, then I will switch in diagonal, in the horizontal, and I will end up with the uppercut. Right, instead of going all the way here, returning, and then returning. So this is a very good kind of practice mentally. So the vertical ones, 3 levels. The diagonal ones are starting on the side of the head and go through the diagonal, obviously, right? You want it to go through the frame of your body. The very first thing you train yourself with is the frame of your body. You're starting to train them all the way through, and then you're starting to exercise the same 3 levels. The first one will go to the head, but notice that. It's kind of all, they are just slightly different diagonals, right? The head one will go here, the torso one will go here, and the legs one will go here, and they all kind of start in different positions, unlike the vertical cut. So you have these three very obvious slices. And the same one is on the other side. The reason why you want to practice other sides is because your hands starting to move differently. Because as you do vertical ones, your hands kind of showing the moving in that kind of half arc movement, right? If you do diagonal ones, it's a bit different because your hands, you aim for the different portions, but here ending up is almost the same spot. And you also want to do stop here, and stop there. So basically cut to the body, cut to the middle of the body, cut all the way through. Again, same reasoning, you want to be able to stop. And also in this case, you want to not, when you're working with the partner, you want to make sure that you're able to stop. So, but always stopping in the middle will rob you of very cool wide movements that you can add later. So you have three variations of this, right? But you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Virtually 9 variations of the same exact stroke, right? So it's pretty cool. So you just went from adding that, adding that, adding the other side. You have yourself quite an arsenal there. The reason why I'm doing this, this hits, and I'm accentuating them, unlike the sort of XP system where this is the only angulation, right, is because I think it's important to know them. It doesn't mean you always will do that, because they look virtually the same, right? They all just diagonal on a different heights, but I believe the height is important. I'm not bashing anybody, this is my personal belief. So, and again, 1, 2, 3, all the way through. And then of course you come in with the horizontal ones. Again, head, torso, legs. And notice that with the horizontal, you have your arms here, you have your arms here again, and you have your arms here. And then you're kind of returning to the middle position if you're trying to go through the sequence, sequence, sequence. Right, so kind of returning to the same middle. So again, notice that you have 3 heights and 3 different lengths of the head. That's another 9 and 9. It's getting weird. Right, so numbering all this is becoming weird. So then you have yourself the uppercuts. The uppercut is the weird, it's kind of interesting ones because they always feel a bit unnatural because, catching up is not something you do, and there is actually not a lot of power you can put for it. But as soon as you're kind of swiping it out, you realize how much you can actually do with the upper stroke. Those you would normally aim somewhere here so there is less variations. You're not doing the uppercut in the head because it just becomes weird. do the uppercut somewhere in the front. The only thing you might want to do is to actually fixate the same, right? So 1, 2, the height where you're stopping it. 3, all the way through. Basically, you want to stop sometime at the torso. Gun for the leg, stop at the torso. Gun for the torso, stop at the head level, and then all the way through is just basically, you know, somebody all the way diagonal. So you again have 2 extra strokes that end up doing this. The common mistake when these are executed, or this, is to not move. Remember, I just talked about arcs, right, for the verticals. To not move your body and hands in the arc where it feels natural, because people end up with this, people end up with this, people end up with this. You don't do this. When you do the arc movement, it is arc movement. It goes all the way. It stops, and if you need the angle downwards, the forward arm keeps traveling, this one keeps slowing down. You will need, I mean, if you're having trouble with this, just practice a little bit. You will notice that the best way to not do this is to move hands in the arc. It doesn't matter if you step here, if you stop outside a little bit, you return. There is no reason to do this, right? Your stance does not dictate where you stop your hands after the hip. You return to that stance. Sometimes it's important to stop where it is, but in general, it doesn't. You just cut, you join it, use the other movement, and use the other movement, and use the other movement. You join them together. You not necessarily always have to return into the same stance. So